In this video, I'm going to explain the number one wealth killer and why it is the most important thing to understand on your journey to become financially free. As Albert Einstein once said, compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it, earns it. He who doesn't, pays it. So, what exactly is compound interest? How does it work? And most important, how can you use it to your advantage? We are going to answer these questions and more in the next few minutes. Let's say we put aside $100 per month for the next 10 years. This adds up to $12,000. That's an easy one. Compound interest, on the other hand, does not follow the same logic. The human brain has difficulty to apprehend it as the function is not linear. Let me show you what I mean by two examples. If Jesus Christ would have invested 1 cent at his birth with an interest rate of 1% per year, how much would he have accumulated in year 2000? $7,300? $43,000? Or $435,000? The answer might surprise you. Actually, none of them is true. The total amount he would have accumulates to a staggering $4,350,000. Here's the second one. Imagine you can decide for one of the two options. Option 1, you will receive a yearly payment for the duration of 24 years. The payment will be $1 only in the first year, and it will be doubled every year. This means $2 in year 2, $4 in year 3, and so on. Or would you rather go for option 2? In this case, you will receive $150,000 continuously every year for the same period. Which choice feels more attractive to you? With option 2, you would have a total of $3,600,000 after the 24 years. Can you guess how much it would be with option 1? The amount in year 24 alone would be $8 million. Summing up the total payment over the 24 years, you would have accumulated more than $16 million. This provides a first impression how powerful compound interest is. What was your estimation on both examples? Leave a comment below and share your thoughts. So, what exactly is compound interest and how does it work? Simply put, it is the interest you earn on interest. Let's say you have $100 in your account. With an interest rate of 10%, your value would be $110 after year 1. This means $10 comes from interest. After year 2, the total value increases to $121. The interest for the second year is $11. $10 is earned on your initial investment, and another $1 is earned on your interest from year 1. It doesn't sound much at the beginning, but time is a very important factor for the compounding effect. After 10 years, your initial $100 would already reach $259. Can you guess the value after 50 years? It would reach almost $12,000. To understand the full impact of time on compound interest, we only have to look at the famous investor Warren Buffett. He earned more than 99% of his wealth after he turned 50. How can you use it for your advantage? Let's say you want to invest $10,000 today, but you don't know how to get started. The global economy provides a wide variety of choices. Some of the most common investments are bonds, real estate, ETFs, or individual stocks. The yearly performance depends on many factors. For our example, we apply 3%, 5%, 8%, and 10%. What logically would follow is the calculation how much money you would have for each investment in 10, 20, 30 years, and so on. This would require you to spend time plotting tables or doing calculations. Instead, we make this comparison more practical using the rule of 72. What does this mean? Simply divide 72 by the interest rate for your investment and you will get the time in years until the initial value is doubled. For bonds, the result is 72 divided by 3 equals 24 years. Real estate doubles your money in 72 divided by 5, 14 years. For ETFs, the result is 9, and for stocks, 7 years until the initial investment of $10,000 is worth $20,000. One more very important thing to keep in mind is the inflation. It describes the increase in the general price level of goods and services in our economy. It follows the same calculation rule as compound interest, but it goes in the opposite direction. This means the value of your money diminishes year by year. You might think no one can predict inflation or even the earlier stated investment returns. And you are absolutely right. Planning investments always involves risk and uncertainty. Would you think $100 today will buy the exact same amount of food in 10 years from now? Look what happened to $100 10 years ago. If history is a reasonable indicator, you may want to include a certain percentage of inflation for conservative planning to avoid disappointments down the road. Considering a 2% inflation, bonds would only grow 1%, real estate 3%, ETF 6%, and stocks 8%. This would change your doubling time to 72, 24, 12, and 9 years as a consequence. You can also apply the rule of 72 directly to the value of money over time. Assuming 5% inflation, you divide 72 by 5 equals 14 years. This means $100 of today's money will only buy half of the goods 14 years later. This explains why people who understand it earn it, and people who don't understand it pay it. So what's next? Understanding return and inflation is already very powerful. Also, keep in mind your personal risk and time horizon before making any investment. One last thing that helps me making decisions about everyday expenses. Always ask yourself the question, how much is this spending affecting my finances 20 or 30 years down the road? The $40 restaurant visit today would be worth almost $700 in 30 years, considering 10% return if the money was invested. The $300 weekend trip would set you back more than $5,000 in 30 years. Applying this comparison to all expenses can turn small cutbacks here and there into a large fortune over time thanks to the power of compounding. If some of the information was helpful to you, I'd appreciate a like, and if you are not yet subscribed to my channel, please do so to make sure you will not miss out on any new update. If you want to know why money spent on a car keeps you from becoming a millionaire, then make sure you don't miss this video here.